What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. In this video, we are looking at the NBA slate for Friday. Happy Friday. We have two games today. Two more playing games. Hawks, Cavs, Pelicans, Clippers. Should be a fun one, do or die for both of these teams. So let's go ahead and get into it. As always, if you enjoyed the video, appreciate it. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't already. I have a couple of videos out today. I was thinking about doing a top 5 prize picks video out for this NBA slate. Now, seeing that a lot of people are interested in prize picks, I will have that recorded after this one, and then you guys let me know what you think of it. But let's go ahead and get started with this video. Starting off with the point guard picks, we have Trae Young at $9,700 going up against Cleveland. Trae Young did his thing, even though he didn't shoot the ball particularly well, just 8 of 24. His team ran away with it against the Hornets. Did have 11 assists for the third time in 4 games, and for the over 11 assists for 4 times in 5 games. He's been really dishing out assists. His teammates have been shooting the ball really well. So I don't mind Trae Young at 97. We saw CJ McCollum have an insane first half where he had like 25 plus points or 27 points in the first half, then finished with 5 in the second half. But able to get the job done against the Spurs. He had an all-around good game with 7 assists, 6 rebounds. His price tag went down by $100. I still like Brandon Ingram at his price tag. The fact that Ingram didn't play very many minutes, dealing with some foul trouble in that game. We have Garland at 85. This sort of price tag for Garland, I will be kind of all over. He played 39 minutes against Brooklyn. We should see him play similar minutes, if not more minutes today. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets 41 like he did recently. And he's a guy that has a high usage rate, and getting Jarrett Allen back should probably help him get some easy lobs at the basket. Other picks at the point guard position is definitely Karis LeVert at 65. He has been playing good minutes for them. Played 40 last game. He's a guy that contributes in all aspects and is a good overall fantasy player. And then we can maybe look to Reggie Jackson at 61. He played 42 minutes, so they kind of limited his minutes a little bit. They said they were at the end of the regular season. We still saw him play high minutes in some of these games, but in the postseason, you expect Reggie Jackson to play heavy minutes, and 61 is pretty affordable if you needed a point guard in the mid-range. And then value-wise, you're looking at maybe DeLon Wright at 35, just because he's getting those minutes that Lou Williams would originally get, with Williams out with the back issue. And that is kind of it at the point guard position. Maybe Rondo at 34. Over at shooting guard, Paul George is 10K. He had a great game, 6 of 12 from distance, 42 minutes, 41 minutes from him, 7 boards. He gets a good matchup against the Pelicans. I'm sure they will try to do their best to slow him down. That game ended up being pretty low scoring against Minnesota. Some of these, now that these teams are fighting for their lives, it seems like they're going to tighten up defensively. So don't mind taking some of the unders in this game. Don't mind Paul George at 10K. You're looking at 60 out of him to pay off that price tag. I don't mind going a bit cheaper for Brandon Ingram. He's only 78. Gets a matchup against the Clippers here. Has played pretty well against them this year, and did shoot the ball well against the Spurs. Only played 30 minutes, dealing with some foul issues, and normally you'd expect him to play over 34, 35. So he lost about 5 minutes, and that would have been about like 6 or 7 more fantasy points at his rate. Last game, still put up 27 real-life points, and the price tag has gone down by 500 on Brandon Ingram, so I think he looks like a great option. Other picks would be Bogdanovic if he's in, which I assume he'll play. Don't see him sitting out in a must-win game. And then at the bottom, you have maybe DeLon Wright. Kevin Huerter has been playing well. Over at small forward, your pay-up is really nobody besides Bogdanovic here, or you could look to Ingram if you wanted to play him at this position. Value-wise at this position, you have like Herb Jones. He played well. He's going to be out there for defensive purposes. You'd see him be on probably Paul George. Wouldn't be surprised if that is the case. He can hit some shots. He doesn't take a lot of shots. You expect him to take under 10 like he has been, maybe even under 5. But overall, can get you some rebounds, get you some defensive stats, and be a pretty good value at 48. There's not too many guys in this price range that will play as many minutes as he will. Moving over to power forward, we have Evan Mobley at 68. Still think he looks like a great play just based on the price tag. Even if Allen comes back, we don't know how much he'll play. And you still expect Mobley to play big minutes in this game against a Atlanta team that does like to play somewhat big with Capella and then Okongwu backing him up. The price tag has come down a bit for Mobley. So at this price tag, 68, I think you can definitely consider taking a shot with him. But I do like another value at this position, and that is going to be Gallinari at 47. He's been playing great ball for the Hawks over the last couple of weeks since John Collins has gone down, and Collins is still out for this one. So you'd expect Gallinari to play north of 30 minutes. Got 30 in a big blowout, so he probably could have played like 34, 35 if they needed him to, which he probably would, considering he was playing well and shooting the ball well. So at his price tag, I think he looks like another value option that we can consider. Over at center, you have Valanciunas dropped 50 last game against the Spurs. 14 boards, 22 points. They are going to give him a lot of minutes in the playoffs, at least at this game if they move forward. He's just a much better presence than some of the other guys that they've been throwing out there, like Hayes and Hernan Gomez at times, just in terms of defensive purposes. Allen, if he's back, that's good news for the Cavs. It's not going to be good news for DFS, really. I'm not that interested at his price tag. I'd rather go down to Capella, who's been balling recently. He doesn't even need to play huge minutes, but he probably will against a big Cleveland team. A guy that will get you rebounds, points, blocks, steals, does a little bit of everything at this price tag. Another guy on Atlanta you can consider if you're not looking to pay up at the position. And then value-wise, you have maybe Zubats at 54 and maybe Mobley at 68, but I would go 400 more for Capella than play Evan Mobley. Over at the guard position, value-wise, you have Reggie Jackson at 61. I like Karis LeVert at his price tag as well. At $6,500, he is just going to play probably good minutes. The price tag isn't overly expensive. Nice mid-range if you wanted to pair somebody with Darius Garland, an offensive threat that will take on some high usage, which LeVert does like to do. And then another option we can look to is another Atlanta piece, and I do like DeAndre Hunter at 51. You can also maybe look to Norman Powell. Actually, might have well throw in Norman Powell just to get a piece of the Clippers, because I got a piece of some of these other teams. So throw in Norman Powell here. Probably put him in at shooting guard. Or put him in at shooting guard. I put Ingram in at small forward just so it looks a little bit more full. Powell and then Ingram. Powell shot the ball well like he has been all year last game. Played only 27 minutes or so. 4 fouls for him. Still think that if he's playing well, they're probably going to give him more minutes than like Batum, who still played a good amount. And Morris wasn't playing great. He's been struggling recently. Could see him play some more minutes than Morris. And overall, on the season, especially since he's been with the Clippers, since he's been healthy, he's been averaging a decent fantasy production. And most of that was without Paul George, so keep that in mind. But he's still going to be a guy that they're going to be letting him shoot however many times he wants. And with the way he's been shooting, probably knock down some threes, get you some peripheral stats, hopefully. And 53 is a pretty good value pick. So that's about it. Leaves you with 5K left for the last 2 spots. Let's go ahead and talk about FanDuel. All right, on FanDuel point guard picks, you're definitely looking at some of these guys at the top end. Trae Young is expensive at 10.5, but he's still a good play. You have McCollum. If you think he can shoot the ball as well as he did, he looks fine, but I'm rather going down to Garland at 87. Reggie Jackson looks like a very tough guy to pass up at 57 if he's going to play 40-plus minutes. And then value-wise, you have DeLon Wright at 39. Over at shooting guard, Paul George, 10-2. Probably looks a little bit better than McCollum just in terms of getting you some more fantasy points if he's able to get you a lot of steals and defensive stats. Like LeVert a bit at 68. Powell looks a little bit better on DraftKings. And then you have like Kevin Huerter, 54 as a guy that you can look to, but I plugged in Reggie Jackson at point guard, so I could plug in Garland over at shooting guard. Small forward, like Brandon Ingram at 82, going up against the Clippers. Not a bad matchup for him at all. He's been shooting the ball pretty well. Should take a lot of shots today and probably get 5 or 6 more minutes than he did last game. Powell, another option that we can look to, like LeVert at 68. And then I like these Hawks guys more than Powell, especially Gallinari and Hunter with the way that they've been playing recently and putting up good fantasy games. Over at power forward, Mobley is 81. There's really nobody other pay up besides him here, unless you wanted to play Ingram at power forward. 6K range, I mean, Allen, if he's in the lineup and he's not going to be restricted, that price tag is going to be very nice and kind of tough to pass up. Right now I put in Hunter or Gallinari, they're both pretty good plays. I'll put in Hunter right now, but don't mind getting the Gallinari either. Easily can get up to Jared Allen if we know that he's not going to be restricted. And then last but not least, over at center, we have Valanciunas 85, Mobley 81, Capella 77. Probably pick between the top three. If I was going to play Allen, I might put him in at power forward. But I'm going with J-Val against Zubats here. Should play good minutes today, assuming he doesn't foul like he did a couple games ago, which that was just an anomaly. Typically doesn't happen with him. This one might be more of a faster pace than the Cleveland game. Cavs don't play super fast, but Atlanta does, so we could see. Interesting to see which team dictates the pace. But I like Valanciunas 85. Just gives you a lot of upside. Other guy would be Capella. Would be my second guy to look at. But that's about it for the video. Best of luck tonight. Stay tuned for the Prize Picks video if you're going to be playing that, and I will see you all next time.